You may look at the Jets heading into the postseason and think to yourself, how the heck did this team actually make it to the playoffs? But guess what, folks? New York trying for its third straight first-round playoff victory. Hey, how are you? Jason Horowitz and NFL.com's Pat Kerwin with you on Wildcard Weekend, Jets, Patriots, and if you were to read the papers, believe the hype of everything that's actually being written and asked, you'd think this week that it's Eric Mangini against Bill Belichick, not team against team. So I'm sick of it. So let's start somewhere else on this.
Please do.
Let's start with the players that are actually playing. And something that does matter in this situation is the fact that Tom Brady is on the field. And ladies and gentlemen, he is 10-1 in the postseason career. And I asked Pat before, how do you bet against this guy? And, well, your answer was, it was simple. You just watch that one loss over and over again.
Well, I asked Jeff Fisher this week. I said, when you think about Tom Brady, what coverage would you like to be in to stop the way he sprays the football field, hitting 10, 11 receivers in the game? He goes, I think you got to drop all 11 if you want to get all the areas covered that guy will attack you with. And that's the beauty of Tom Brady. You really can't pinpoint a receiver on the team that's someone you worry about. You worry about Tom reading your coverage and taking care of business. Jason referenced that 10-1 record. How about 5-0 at home? He's never lost a playoff game at home. And he's hot right now. He hasn't thrown an interception in 4 weeks.
Right. Now, the Patriots did this year, however, lose to the Jets at home. And, you know, the next home game, they didn't have sloppy turf anymore. They had field turf, which is what they'll have at Gillette Stadium this weekend. The one thing about Brady, though, in this game, he doesn't have the weapons he's had in those 11 playoff games beforehand. That could come into a big handy here.
You know, let me react to that win the Jets had. My hat's off to Eric Mangini and what they got done up in Foxborough, beating the New England Patriots 17-14. So now the Patriots are 7-1 in their last 8 games against the New York Jets. Tom Brady and the guys have done a nice job against them. It's an interesting stat when I went back and looked at the two games they played this season. When the quarterback who was sacked once, who got sacked one time, that team won the game. When Brady was sacked once, they won. When Pennington was sacked once, they won. When they both lost, they were sacked 4 times. So I went back and looked at the tapes. Where is this pressure coming from? Here's the plan for Pennington. You're going to see a lot of pressure up inside. They want to make Pennington go outside the pocket where he doesn't have the arm strength to flick that ball off the back foot. And they don't like, they like what they see when they get him out there. Conversely, for Brady, when he got in trouble, what Eric Mangini was doing was not showing him any coverages. There were a lot of times there were 9 people on line of scrimmage, not giving Tom a pre-snap read and blitzing from all over the place, trying to keep him in the pocket. So that's the plan of attack, and I think both teams know got to sack this quarterback if we want to win the game.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's take a look at the defense as you're referencing there, Pat. In the last 8 games, before the season, or before the bye week, a lot of people said the Jets' Achilles heel was the defense, but you take a look at that, they only allowed one team the last 8 games to score more than 14 points. And when they beat the Patriots, they held them to 14 points. But a big part of that game was the fact that Ty Warren didn't play for New England. And the Jets' offense was able to run for 120 yards or so, where in the first game they only had about 50 yards. It's a totally different Patriots defense when Ty Warren's on the field.
Well, first off, this Patriot defense, I do think they gave up the fewest amount of points for a season in Belichick's era. So this is the best defense that Belichick's putting together. If you watch the tape, if I took the jerseys off the player and didn't tell you who each person was, you would say that Ty Warren was the Pro Bowl player. Love Richard Seymour. Thought he was the best player in the NFL on defense last year, but he has not played as well as Ty Warren, the guy you're talking about, with Ty Warren back there. Very, very good up front.
One thing that could hurt the Patriots, and it's an if, because it's questionable. Vince Wilfork, questionable, the nose tackle in that 3-4 defense, that could hurt. All right, but as for the offense for the Patriots, Tom Brady, we talked about his receivers not being as good. His running backs, it's a different situation. You've got Lawrence Maroney and you got Corey Dillon and a couple of guys combined with 19 touchdowns. You have the power and you have the speed. Now, Maroney is banged up a little bit, but that he should be rested. He had the rib injury, some cartilage, but he's supposed to go. As for the Jets defense, something we talked about being improved, I think the key here is going to be in that linebacking core. Now, you talked about the pressure they need. You're taking a look at the Jets linebackers, Eric Barton, Jonathan Vilma, and Victor Hobson. They get some pressure up front, but a lot of their sacks come from the linebacking core and Barton and Hobson. What do they have to focus on? Do they focus on the running backs or do they focus on the blitz?
Well, you can blitz the run, and I think that's what Eric's going to arrive at and decide to do. When he's got 2 in the backfield, he knows that's a running formation, but he also knows Tom loves play-action pass off that, so you blitz those sets. and you bring people from the outside. We see those 10 sacks from those 2 linebackers. That's the kind of guy that's going to come. Don't be surprised if Vilma gets into the mix on this because of his speed and ability. Because if you come and you don't come fast enough, Tom Brady's got the ball out of his hand, and you're in trouble because there's open areas behind you.
Yeah, and Jonathan Vilma, he needs to have a big game for the Jets to win. On the other side, real quickly, go back to the Jets offense, and you talked about they want to get Chad Pennington out of the pocket. The one thing he's not going to see when he looks at that Patriots defense, he's not going to see Rodney Harrison not playing in this game, which means Jericho Cotchery and Lavernius Coles may have a little bit more open field to roam over the middle because they know that 13-year veteran's not coming there with a huge hit.
Well, I'm not going to ever think that you're a better team without Rodney Harrison. He's a terrific football player. But unlike the Patriots, where you're not sure who he's throwing to because he sprays the field all the time, you kind of do know where he's going on the Jets side. They're going to Lavernius Coles as many times as they can. When you go back and look at how many times Chad throws the ball to him, I'm not talking about catches, how many times he attempts to get the ball to him, you're in double digits. So if you're going to throw the ball 20, 22 times in a game, Chad Pennington, and I already know that 50% of them are going to Lavernius Coles, I'm going to double them. And when I don't want to double, I'm going to have Asani Samuel cover it and then try to get you with some pressure.
You said the key to this game is getting pressure on the quarterback. Who gets more pressure on the opposing QB and who wins?
Yeah, I like the Patriots a lot in this game. And I know, and I worked at the Jets. I love the Jets, but this is Tom Brady at home. This is Tom Brady with 2 good running backs. I talked to Kyle Vandenbosch last week. He said Corey Dillon is still impossible to tackle and played a ferocious football game last week. Don't think he'll be worn out for this. I just think that the Patriots got a lot going on. Tom Brady, 24 game-winning drives in his career. He has more game-winning drives in playoff games than all the other quarterbacks playing this weekend combined.
Yeah, that is a big number. I like one thing Lavernius Coles said when he was talking about playoff
experience. Can I play for the Patriots?
One thing he said, he was talking about playoff experience. He said, a lot of the Patriots, you talk about the Patriots being battle-tested, a lot of them are in our locker room right now, so a lot of the Patriots don't have the playoff experience either, but the guy that does is Tom Brady. That game, Sunday at 1 o'clock on CBS, and for more on that game or any other in Wildcard Weekend, be sure to stay right here on CBS Sports Line. For Pat Kerwin, I'm Jason Horowitz. Enjoy the football. Take care.